Hello, my name is Matthew Mayvers, and today we are here with Lee Beasley, and we're looking at a CK2555AA, which is our pass-through dishwasher. And part of our get ready after COVID is to basically go through technical troubleshooting videos with yourself to sort of get your machinery back up and running. First of all, I'd like to point out some of the simple jobs that you can do yourself to perhaps save a call out and prevent breakdowns. So Lee, if we just have a quick chat about the breather at the back is one of the key things, and we get called out to this a lot. And when we supply the machine, we supply you a laminated sheet to kind of remind you to check this. So we've loosened the screws off at the moment. So just going to show you inside this. We've already cleaned it, but we do have examples online of it being quite mucky inside there. So the consequence is sometimes if this gets blocked up, the machine doesn't drain very well and all the levels get a little bit mixed up. So if you've got problems with drainage or problems with the machine filling or overfilling, it's always worth cleaning these two out. We've got an anti-siphon valve here at the bottom, okay, so we can just unscrew that. There's a little black valve inside it and we need to clean that and pop that back in. And we've got the breather for the air brake tank as well. So please don't take both of them off at the same time, just take one at once, because normally these machines are built into a kitchen and we don't want the brake tank to kind of fall out the back of the machine, so that's going to cause a few problems. So just loosen them off one at once, clean them out. That will be absolutely fantastic. Other things to do while you're in the machine is just obviously check for limescale. Up in the Lake District we're pretty gifted that we don't have hard water, but a lot of you guys will see a chalky appearance inside the machine. We do sell a zero line machine as well, which is a CK2555AA, which is designed to destroy limescale. It takes white wine vinegar. It's really simple. It's got a peristaltic pump inside it and it automatically descales itself with white wine vinegar. That has been really popular in some of the hard water areas. And it's a lifesaver for the machine. Anyway, but if you haven't got that machine, don't panic. The thing is, you can descale this one by putting descaler. First of all, you can put descaler into the tank, and we can get the scale eliminated out of the tank. But what you won't be able to do, or is not as easy, is the underneath the machine. Obviously we've got panels off this machine and it is switched on, so please don't do this at home, okay? You need to be isolating the electrics before you consider removing any panels, and you need to be competent in your abilities. So this is the rinse tank underneath. If you just grab me the pointer, I've got a little laser pen to kind of point with. So this is the rinse tank here, and this is going to be full of limescale, alright? And we need to get in there and we need to descale that. All these pass-throughs that we sell have what we call a brake tank in the back. So if we just nip round to the back of the machine, I'll show you how we can get descaler or white wine vinegar into this tank to help eliminate the limescale. So if we just nip round the back, we'll see you in a couple of secs. Okay, we're round at the back of the machine now. I'm going to remove the back panel. There's a couple of locating screws here to take off, or pins. If it's the new version, it's pins, isn't it, Lee?
Pins on the new version.
4 screws underneath to take off, remove the back panel. This is going to take you a little bit of work if you, obviously, you might have sinks attached to it and tabling, etc. So it might take you a little work. This is the brake tank. This is the bit we want to get the white wine vinegar poured into this. And now, if you get this put in over night time and leave the machine full of water, that's going to help reduce the limescale in the machine. Some of the older versions actually had a cutout in the back, which you'll be able to kind of spot and be able to get the descaler into that. So that's a really good tip for you guys to kind of prolong the learn for your machine. whilst we're in the back of it, just a general check for leaks, okay, and a general check for the condition as well. A lot of the machine, if you see a big white chalky build-up in the bottom of the machine, which we do from time to time, it normally tells us that detergent's leaking. So we're going to have a quick look around the front and I'll show you where that detergent is going to be leaking from. Go on, Lee, you're going to explain to where the...
Right. So in your machine, around the front here, you've got two pumps. You've got one for your detergent and one for your rinse aid. What can happen is you get leaks on your detergent, which will do just little drips as it's running, and that will build up on the bottom of your machine, and it will fill up your bottom of your machine with like a white chalky substance, which will eventually go hard. And you'll also see it dripping out onto your floor, and if it is dripping out onto your floor, it can be quite corrosive detergent, so it can damage your floor as well. So it's always best to get it seen to as soon as possible. Okay, so now we're going to go across how you can adjust your detergent and your rinse aid chemical settings. So that's quite simple on these machines. It is in your manual as well, but the manual is a little bit convoluted. But all you've got to do is press your power and your 1 button, hold that in for a few seconds together until USR comes up on your screen. Then once you're in here, this is your panel where you can change everything. So if you just press this button here, which we call the sanitize button, it's like a picture of a lightning zap with a couple of plates on, that becomes your enter button. So if you just press that, and then you get DIS on the screen, that's your detergent settings, your dispenser settings. Press enter again. And then this first one, you only want to set this once, but it's best to set this into seconds rather than grams per litre. So if you press enter on that one first, as you can see, that's on grams per litre at the moment. So we'll change that over to SEC, which is for seconds. Press enter. Now all your settings now will be in seconds rather than grams per litre. So now you can go through and set your actual parameters. So what we got here now, your first one is your detergent input. So this is your initial dosage of the machine as it fills up for the first time of the day. So this will set how much goes in. So you just press the enter button and you can set that then. So that will run the pump for 55 seconds during the initial fill. The next one across is your rinse aid. That's again your initial dosage into the machine while it fills up. And as you can see on this one, as a default, it's set at 11. So your next two settings are your per cycle settings. Now, your initial dosage, you generally want to leave as they are. And if you want to increase or decrease, you generally want to change your per cycle settings, because that's the one that will add into the machine per cycle. So every time you run a cycle, this is how much it will add in. So your next one across then is your detergent, DET. Press enter on that, and then you can add or decrease the amount of time that pump will run per your cycle. So if you want to increase, you just press your number 2, that brings your number up, and decrease, number 1, brings it down. And then your final one is your rinse aid per cycle. Again, same thing, just press your enter button, and then your 1 and 2 will increase or decrease the amount that you're going in. Once you're finished, all you need to do is make sure you're back on one of the menus, power it off, and once it goes off, power it back on, and that's your settings done. Okay, so we've already had a look at the general maintenance of the machine, descaling, cleaning out the machine, and also setting your detergent and rinse aid levels. So now we're going to have a look at how your machine should be running, the sort of sounds that it should be making. So what we're going to do, we're going to start a cycle on this machine. And if you come around here, you'll see as soon as you start a cycle, your detergent pump will run for a few seconds. And your wash pump will now kick into life. That's the sound you can hear now. That's a nice healthy sound for a wash pump. That's now doing a wash cycle, so that's pumping water from your wash tank, and that's now spraying it over all your plates. And once it reaches the end of that, you'll know now that it'll kick into your rinse cycle. So now that rinse pump's there, it's just kicked in. And as you can see, right where that laser pointer is, there's a little screw there which you can see spinning, and that's just stopped. Once that finishes, you'll now hear that the machine is filling itself back up. So that's now filling this rinse tank back up. Because whilst that rinse pump was activated, it's just pumped a load of fresh water from that tank that's heated up to sterilise your plates. There we go. So now that's nice and complete now, and it's ready for your next cycle. Okay, yeah, so to finish off then, we're going to go through draining down the machine and what noises you should be hearing when you're draining and what it should be doing. So when this machine actually drains, it also does a rinse cycle. So what we'll do, you'll hear that now as it runs. So deselect your cycle, press your drain button, and then just close your lid, and that will start that cycle. So as you can hear, that's now just started your drain pump. That's your first initial thing. If you are having problems with drains, obviously check your drain pipe work, make sure there's no blockages, especially if you've got it going into a spigot, but we always recommend it goes into a standpipe. So check all that as a first protocol, but then you may have to come in and check into your actual pump. I've got a pump here. This is what your drain pump looks like. So basically you've got your water goes in there and comes out here, and what you can do, just make sure there's nothing stuck in the pump itself, because things can get down there, especially if someone's removed the filters and let the machine drain without a filter in place. So that's now draining. In just a moment it will kick in your rinse booster pump, because what it'll do, it'll just do a rinse down the machine as well. So this is a nice healthy sound you want to hear for the drain. If you want to come and have a look at the location of the drain pump, if you can run the back here. So the drain pump is located just there, and that's now draining at the moment. You want to have a nice healthy flow off your drain like that. And now that's just stopped your drain pump at the moment. That's now doing a rinse cycle, so that's running from your rinse boost pump, and it's now topping up the water in your tank so it can do a nice clean rinse, just to wash down any chemicals or detergent that's in your machine. Okay, so thank you all for watching, and hope your machines are all nice and clean and looked after, and thank you very much.